This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. How are you today? Today we're doing something a little different and a little easy. I got Tainted Grail in, and I'm very excited to bring it to you. I did not buy the Sundrop edition. Why? Because you could do it yourself. Not just for Tainted Grail, but for anything. We're going to use Tainted Grail today. I'm going to show you a couple different versions of how to do this and how easy it is. It's all about picking up a brush and doing things yourself and getting the self-satisfaction that you can get out of doing some of the wonderful things that you can do with shades and all the wonderful stuff out there today. It really makes it easier for people to pick up brushes and learn how to do things. And why would you go buy a Sundrop thing and pay ridiculous money when you can do it yourself for under 20 bucks? Easily under 20 bucks, and get the satisfaction of just having this wonderful, fantastic these fantastic games painted by yourself. And if you really like Sundrop with your games, well, it just doesn't stop there, folks. You can do it with anything, not just Tainted Grail, but anything. If anybody offers Sundrop, say, no, let me see how they look. Okay, good, I can do those myself, and that's the most important thing. Let's go down to the table and learn how to do this very simple thing where anybody can do it. If I could do it, anybody can do it, for crying out loud. Let's go down to the table and check it out. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I took some Army Painter primer and primed all these. They were originally gray, but you want to get a nice coat of white on here. Okay, nice thin coat. So make sure that you keep your spray can a good distance away, because that's going to help you a lot in getting this accomplished. You're going to want to keep it at least anywhere 6 to 12 inches. Get a good coat on here. As you see, I got a real nice coat on here, and that works really, really well. So now we'll move on to the next step. Now here, there's a couple different ways you can do this. If you use Citadel, you want to use a new oil as your undercoat, and we'll show you how that works. But Army Painter has some phenomenal shades. Quick shade, they have the dip shade. You can try that. I don't use the dip shade, but I do like their shades. They have strong tones, dark tones. So I'm going to show you one in each, and you can decide which one that you like the best. The Army Painter is very, very good. So we're going to get to work here, and I'm going to show you after we do both. We're going to take these two figures first and test them out to see how each one does, and I'll point out each one to you. Now, as you can see, I've already done two of the mentats here, or I think that's what they're called, to be honest with you. And all you want to do is, first of all, let me just tell you, I'm kind of going through this pretty quickly, but wait until the body dries before you paint the base. You kind of don't want it to pool up too much, but it doesn't really matter if it does, because really we're going to put another coat of a different color on. Now, this is the Army Painter. As you can see, it's just as good as the new oil. So it's really, what's cost effective for you, what works for you. Now I'm going to just show you how quickly this takes, and anybody can do this. I mean, why are you paying for Sundrop when you can do it yourself so easily? And this is just one start. Now, I don't mind painting the base and get my fingers all messed up. Maybe you do, but you can just, as you can see, all I'm doing is making sure it doesn't pool. I'm moving the wash around. It took me one dip to do this dude, right? Okay, into the brush, and there we go. All right, now we're not done. We got to wait for this to dry so we can add in our second wash. Okay, and that's what's going to really bring this out. Really just do this, and you can just breeze through these with no problem. Okay, and right now I'm just using the new oil, but I'm telling you, when we go to the second color, we're really going to bring some things out, and you're going to see how we work this and how easy this is to do. Okay, especially if you're a big fan of Tainted Grail, which I'm looking forward to getting this to the table. And I think the Sundrop really works here, and it really does a nice job I was thinking of painting these all the way through, and whoops, bad hands. Bad hands, bad eyes, bad everything. But I was thinking of doing this all the way through and painting these figures, but I've seen the Sundrop and I was like, you know something, sometimes it just works for certain games. And this is just one of those games that it really works for because of how dark and different the game is. I mean, so far, right? That's all you want. That's all you want. Make sure you cover all the white. That's all you got to do. And getting a good, it starts with a good primer. A nice solid primer. Now we're gonna jazz these up. So when we come back, I'm gonna show you the next layer that we put on, and you can do this all and do your entire collection for probably under 20 bucks. All you need is a brush, and you're gonna need a couple of washes, and you're gonna be off and running. And I think you're gonna be very happy with the results. And especially if you're a first-time painter, you're gonna be very excited in the result you get. So let's let these dry. We'll come back in about 30 minutes. Of course, what it really means is when this thing flashes over, we'll be right back and we'll be doing the next color. Now, the next step is really up to you and how you want to shade your Sundrop. You can really go with a really dark brown or a strong tone, which I use to some degree, or you can go with a lighter, kind of more shady kind of serpium septum, which works really well. You can go with a reddish brown, which really works very nice with the Reichland flesh shade. But for me, and we're talking me here, okay, and I really like Agrath Earthshade. It's a really dark, earthy brown, and it gives you that real Sundrop feel that you're looking for. So we're going to take I believe this is Bjorn or something like that. And if you've seen him in some of the videos and how he looks, and we're just going to, and you can see we're going over the new oil, which has already made a statement by going in there, okay, and really just sitting up in there really nicely. And then just working it around your base. It doesn't take you much, and you go as dark as you want. That's what really matters here, is going as dark as you want, okay? And just, I mean, whoops. Come on, this is a Rob video. You know that it's always going to be unprofessional. But really just getting it in there, and look how that works. Okay, just taking your time, moving around. Don't worry about getting it on your fingers and stuff like that. And that works really, really well. Okay, and that's your Sundrop effect. That's all it is. That's all it is. And then take your brush, just go around the edges. You know, if you want to just do it all in one sitting here and not wait like me, I become very impatient, and just make sure that you get that. And then you can see the difference here. You can see the difference. Let's do a little with the strong tone, which works very, very, very well. And all you do is just put a bunch of it here, because you're going to use a bunch of it, folks. All right, close it up, and you'll see that it's whatever that you think works the best here. And I'm even going to use the same brush. See, there we go. Look how strong that goes in there. And you really just, it's a fun exercise. First of all, it teaches you how to move washes with a brush, okay? Don't let them pool up too much, but make sure that you get everything in the recesses, and it teaches you a few things, all right? Okay, I'm going to move this on my brush until I think it looks good, until I think that it works for me. And, it'll save you money. Whenever they offer you a Sundrop, say, nah, I could do my own. I could do my own. And it's simple. It's cost effective, and plus the stuff that you have is going to last you a while. Okay, you're going to do a ton of miniatures. Like I'm going to finish this entire Tainted Grail, and really make sure that I have some really nice Sundrop effects here. And if you're unhappy with something, you can go over it. It's not the end of the world here. Okay, you can always work with this. I mean, taking this and just working this in any spots that you may have missed or receded on you. Look how nicely just taking that strong tone and working it over the darker tone, okay, and just bringing things to life. Okay, darkening up certain areas. You see what I'm going for here, okay? All we're looking to do is to get this to Sundrop. And some of you might still want this game and go, well, the Sundrop is really expensive. Well, don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it. Go get yourself a regular box of this. Okay, we're gonna add a little more shade over there. Hold on, hold on. Go get your thing, and then instead of paying an extra $100 or something for it, you know something? You just go down to your hobby store, you get a couple of these washes, okay, and you just work this in here, and I'm telling you, I'm promising you, it's a nice effect, okay? You can do it yourself, because you can do anything. And this is, you know, maybe the start for you. Maybe you like Sundrop so much that you are going to paint everything that you get Sundrop, and just have that effect and go, you know, this really works for me. This works for my games, and this brings it out. It's better than plain old gray, folks. It's better than plain old gray. And it does such a wonderful job just getting it in there. Now, I like mine a little darker than everybody, okay? That's all right. You can lighten yours up. You can, like I said, you can use those other colors and really get in there. But really work it in there. And I'm telling you, you're going to get the effect that you want. You're going to get the feel that you want. Or maybe you just like it with the new oil on it. That might be good enough for you as well. All right? It really comes down to, what are you looking to create? What colors your world? And I think that if you do things this way, you're going to be quite satisfied and quite happy with what you see here. And this is a lot of fun, and it's a good way to start painting if you are somebody that's never painted before and want to take a chance at something. Like I said, a nice primer, a white primer from our friends at Army Painter. Your base is always your null, or a dark wash, a black wash, and then decide on what kind of shade that you want, and just have a brush and get ready to go, and you are off and running, and you also will be able to do fun, adventurous miniatures just like this. So again, just showing you some of the tools that you need. You only need a brush and some different washes. Your key wash is your dark wash, which Army Painter makes a fantastic dark wash, and strong tones, and sometimes the quick shades work really well. But just showing you really quick and zooming in that you don't have to buy these, okay? You can do these yourself. Yeah, those are still a little wet. That's why they look a little glossy. But I think they look good enough. I think they look fine enough to go to your table and make a difference, right? Just trying to get everything to focus in. And there you go, just giving you a... And that one right there, all I did was just with the plain Newell oil, the plain black wash. So that's even a look that you may want. It really depends on you. And when it dries, it'll be even darker and more menacing. And it's just easy, quick, and just getting it to the table and making it your own, depending on what you want to do. Now I'm going to finish up the rest of Tainted Grail, and we are going to be playing this very soon, but I wanted to show you how easy it is. And for future games that offer the Sundrop, don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourself some money and do it yourself. Number one, you're going to get the self-satisfaction of doing it, and number two, hey, let's face it, we all need to save $1 so we can get to the next Kickstarter. All right, let's take it up top and get my final thoughts. Now there you have it. Okay, and the best thing about it is I know it's, you know, you saw some of the stuff while it's still wet, and we'll take a look at it when it's dry and everything like that in the future when we play the game, actually. The nice thing about this is you could do it yourself. It's so simple, and even if it's wet with the other color, you usually give about 45 minutes for the first color to dry, so you kind of get an idea where you're at, but it teaches you how to move things. Okay, so you don't want things to pool up and stuff like that. It teaches you how to flow your shades and stuff like that. And it's such an easy technique. I don't understand why people pay for the Sundrop. Don't. Do it yourself. Get the self-satisfaction. Get the confidence to move on to other things. This is so easy and so much fun. And you get, it's a quick satisfaction because you get a quick result from it. Tainted Grail is a beautiful game with beautiful miniatures. Excuse me, I had something in my eye. And to be able to paint all this thing in under an hour. I painted the expansion and everything in under an hour, to an hour and a half, just because the drying time. And it's just fun. It's easy. It's simple. Just learning how to prime properly, keeping a good distance. Even if you don't get a lot of primer on there, that's okay, as long as you have something to work with, so the shade will stick and really do a wonderful job. You're going to get a lot of satisfaction out of this. You're going to get a lot of pleasure out of this, and you are just going to grow from there. And that's the best thing about it. Don't pay for Sundrop. Make your own. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob, doing what he can to save you a few bucks. We'll see you soon.